What do you picture in your mind when you see these words? What kind of clothes? What is Julia wearing? Now what do you imagine when you see this? What kinds of clothes are they? We will come back to this later. Learning to read English becomes easier when you know about its history. If you know about the story of English, you can see the big picture. How English has different layers, like an old archaeological site. The Celts invaded the British Isles more than 2,000 years ago. They called themselves Britons. Some Celtic words survive today, names of places like London and rivers like the Thames. Then 2,000 years ago, the Romans, under Claudius, invaded England and pushed the Celts into the west and north. Latin was the language of ancient Rome. The Romans stayed 400 years, but eventually their empire crumbled and they left England. New invaders filled the vacuum. They came from Denmark and Germany, including Frisians, Jutes, Saxons, and Angles. Over the next 600 years, a language called Anglo-Saxon emerged, that we now call Old English. In the year 793, the Vikings, Norwegians and Swedes began raiding and pillaging. Then 100 years later came the Danes, and many of their words came into English, such as father, mother, son, cup, sister, hand. In 1066, William, Duke of Normandy, defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings and became King of England. French became the language of administration and of the upper classes. It's the origin of words such as chef, parachute, chateau, antique, parliament, faithful, boutique. Latin was the professional language. English continued to grow and change. In the 1500s, the Renaissance and the revival of classical learning saw an influx of Latin words. Words like disruptive, interrupted, restructure, reception, hospital, dictation, graduate. In the 1600s, subject areas like science were expanding quickly and needed words to describe discoveries. So they borrowed from Greek and Latin to derive words such as psychology, photograph, telescope, zoology, ecology, dyslexia, hydrophobia. Let's think back about the two kinds of clothing shops. They both sell clothing, but did you have different images of them? In the dress shop, did the clothes seem like they were more everyday? In the boutique, did the clothes seem one of a kind and classy, rather exclusive clothes? Do the images you have in your mind make more sense now that you know the history of English? English is a complex yet rich language. It borrowed many core words from Anglo-Saxon, French, Latin, and Greek, but also from more than 100 other languages. There are at least 500,000 words in English. This richness of vocabulary means that we can express many shades of meaning. Instead of happy, we can say ecstatic, overjoyed, jubilant, triumphant, thrilled, delighted, euphoric, and more. From this video clip, you can see why English spelling has a basic regularity but also a level of complexity. English has borrowed words from so many different languages with so many different spelling patterns. And it continues to do so. Each year, hundreds of new words are added to the English dictionary.